Omondi. Now, these are the stories that are making headlines in the country this morning as President William Ruto declares that there is no turning back on the housing levy program. And President William Ruto has said the affordable housing program will be implemented despite the many voices that continue to criticize it. Ruto says the time has come to liberate millions of Kenyans who live in slums without basic services that he describes as living in indigeneity. Here is the president speaking to the nation.
We must do it. Korea did it, Singapore did it, Malaysia did it, and that is why they are ahead of us. We know what we must do, but we cannot gather the courage to do it. But this time round, whatever it takes, we are going to implement it. The same housing project, complete with percentages of the levy, was also in the Azimio manifesto. But when it came to implementation, my friends, that is where the devil lives. It's not just Kibera. You know, whenever we talk about slums, people think it is Mukuru and Kibera and a few places. 1,410 countrywide. So we need to liberate our people from the indignity of living in slums. We have 350 public companies, public entities that just take money from the budget. We're supporting them. Billions of shillings. Some of them you ask, what is this one doing? Nobody can tell you what the hell it is doing.
What would be wrong if part of the diaspora fund was to become a fund that invests, the Kenyan diaspora fund becomes part of the partnership in actually commercializing the KICC operations, but it is also an investment that benefits you.
10 years from today, people will come to Kenya and they will not recognize. We will have transformed this country in a very fundamental way. And it is going to take difficult, smart decisions.
He has directed the Energy Ministry to sort out power failures. Now, President William Ruto has ordered the Energy Ministry to move with speed and resolve the constant episodes of power outages that have plunged the country into darkness, saying they are injuring Kenya's image. Here is the president speaking to this matter.
That line became overstretched. Instead of carrying the normal 80 megawatts to 100 that is supposed to carry, it was carrying 149, and it gave way. When it gave way, power was trying to get an alternative route back to where it is needed, and that is what caused the cascade of events that led to the national blackout. The ministry had realized that we need to complete a missing link, because we have a line from Olkaria to Narok, and realized the other route that had taken you all the way to Bomet. So between Narok and Bomet, 81 kilometers, we don't have a link. So, and this is a shorter route that will ensure you push power, adequate power, to the South Rift region, to the South Nyanza region, and ensure that we have adequate power stability around that area. We are hoping that by Tuesday, because we are trying to accelerate, we are hoping by Tuesday that we can sign the loan to be effective, and thereafter KETRACO can advertise for bidders to come on board and help us construct those lines. At the same time, we are appealing to NLC to clear the pathway in terms of wave acquisition. They gazette the pathway such that KETRACO can now write to all the landowners along the pathway. They be compensated adequately by February. Then by March, we start the construction of that line. We are hoping to get a good contractor, and between March and January 2025, we should have completed. What will have that do to the South Rift and South Nyanza? Power stability, adequate power evacuation, reduction of power losses, and reloading the Kisumu Moroni Chemosit line. Currently, we are pushing a lot of power to Kisumu, But when it gets to Kisumu, we have to get ways of getting it out. And to give a clear illustration, it's just like when you have adequate pump water storage, but you are using a 1-inch pipe for you to feed 10,000 people. It will not be possible. So you have to increase the capacity of the pipe so that the water is able to flow. It's the same challenge that we're having.
The economy will fully recover in April. Now, the National Treasury projects that the country's economy...
Now, the work that has been done by Central Bank to increase interest rates means that exchange rate is going to be stable.
The country will meet the World Bank and IMF conditions to unlock funding from the two Bretton Woods institutions. Here are the full details of this report.
Now, the work that has been done by Central Bank to increase interest rates means that exchange rate is going to be stable, and you have seen it stabilizing. We expect more of the dollar inflows coming in now to further stabilize the shilling. From where I sit, I see next year, from January, February, March, to be a time when we'll not be struggling with a lot of liquidity. And by the end of the year, I expect that we will have normalcy. We have agreed with the World Bank on DPO, what we call Development Partner Operations, and all MDS will have a deadline of 31st December to meet what we have agreed with the World Bank. So we expect by February, when the World Bank board meets, we will have the resources required. And in the next 3 years, we have over $12 billion that is available for us through the concessional window of the World Bank.
We do believe that there is a chance that we can still recover from all these persistent shocks. We still believe that there is risk to the outlook that we have, but we can overcome.
MD demands a comprehensive distribution of the dialogue report. The Center for Multi-Party Democracy is calling for a comprehensive and transparent dissemination plan for the National Dialogue Report. CMD Chairperson Priscilla Nyokabi says the report must match and must reach a wider audience so that the public can interrogate its findings and recommendations. The report is the report of the Kalonzo Musyoka and Kimani Ichung'wah-led committee was released in November with mid-ranging recommendations on the structure of government and the reduction of the cost of living. Here are the full details of this story.
On accessibility, the report should be made available through various channels and formats to ensure accessibility for all citizens, including those in remote areas and those with visual impairment. We also believe that an abridged popular version of the report should be made available in both English and Kiswahili. Public forums, we call upon government, political parties and development partners to support public forums for citizens to engage directly and with the contents and provide feedback on the findings of the report. Media engagement, and this is where you come in. The national dialogue is a public agenda which should be promoted through collaboration with both public and private media outlets to disseminate information through newspapers, radio, television, and online platforms.
Away from that, we come